Hi, this week I want to talk about a book called Underland, A Deep Time Journey. This is a book by the English naturalist Robert Macfarlane, and it was originally published in 2019, I think to almost universal acclaim. I think this claim is deserved. It is really quite an astonishing read. The prose in this book is muscular, but it is beautiful. It is almost a prose poem of a book. I think it's one of the most remarkable and astonishing books I've ever read. It's one of those books that when you put it down, you're disappointed that you have to put it down, and you look forward to the next moment when you can pick it up again. Macfarlane is a naturalist who's travelled and described extensively the natural world around us. You can think of this book as a kind of a mirror image to some of the journeys that he's undertaken on foot on the surface of the globe. Instead, what he does here is invite us to travel the ground beneath our feet. And he does this in a multi-layered way. We first meet what is sometimes jokingly called the wood wide web, the hyphae that extend beneath the forest floor between trees, which allow them to communicate with each other. And he goes progressively further, travelling into caves, travelling into catacombs, travelling into gorges, travelling into a remarkable variety of places. I found in a very, very peculiar way this book had an embodied quality to it. And what do I mean by that? I mean when Macfarlane describes certain journeys that he's undertaken, I found an almost physical reaction in myself to them. He describes a heartbreaking story of a young chap named Neil Moss who was trapped and eventually suffocated and died in a deep cave in the Peak District in England. This story is heartbreaking and almost too much to bear in terms of its telling. He also describes travelling through the catacombs beneath Paris, which are not terribly well known in the wider world. Public access to the catacombs is limited, but the catacombs themselves are very large in dimension and extend across quite a distance in Paris. There are underground parties held there. There are lots of things going on in the catacombs. And he describes clambering through little cuts in stone in order to make it from one location to another. He describes other things as well. Some things that really, again, I found almost disturbing, but really quite remarkable. There's a word that I had never come across. In fact, this book is rich in new vocabulary. And this is the word ruckle. Not truckle as in cheese, but ruckle, R-U-C-K-L-E. This is a nice word, but it describes a subsidence of rocks and boulders, stone, and all of the rest of it, which fall into particular locations and through which spelunkers, people who cave underground or travel through caves underground, find routes through and occasionally will provide a nylon cord or other piece of rope to allow you to identify a path through. This is the passages describing the movement through what can only really be described as a kind of a hellish, tomb-like progression are really, really quite something. And you find yourself regularly thinking, please don't go any further. You know by the time you get to the end of the book that of course Macfarlane has written this book and he has survived. Others do not. It really is quite a scary book to make your way through. I think what I can say about it is that it is a work of deep lyrical beauty, but the writing is never strained. The description of what Macfarlane does is not bent to the needs of the writing, but rather the language that is used is the servant of the experience that Macfarlane has undergone. This book has deservedly won many awards and many honours, and it is a book that I will happily and willingly go back to and read again. I think I've read several of Macfarlane's other books, The Old Ways being one of them, but I think this is to me possibly the best book he has written, and I really look forward to seeing what he produces next. Underworld by Robert Macfarlane, a real must read for everyone.